Not
Boston
bad, Jake.
Celtics. Okay.
Not bad.
Okay. As always, really enjoy it more when the Boston Celtics win as opposed to when the Boston Celtics lose. I thought that as a collective group, Celtics fans did a good job of not reacting to last game.
Yep.
Um, I wouldn't say that they brought the necessary focus and effort to large chunks of this game to keep the very important don't lose two games in a row streak alive, which they have now done once again. Which I don't know if it's possible. Like I'm sure there's been teams like the 73-9 Warriors never lost two in a row. I would love to get through the season not losing two in a row. Not sure that's going to be possible, but the story is this guy Jason Tatum, 43, 16, 10 assists, 88% true shooting, like one of the more absurd games he's ever played, and it was pretty light work. 16 for 24 from the field, 9 for 15 from three. It's just like a tier one elite out of this world performance.
9 threes is absolutely nuts for the way, like, because a lot of them were like the pull-up variety, but I think he's doing a much better job of limiting the pull-ups to when bigs are on him, because he just seems way more comfortable when he's got a big on him and he goes to the pull-up. And it was nasty, man. Like, he was so
Oh,
friggin' good. That third quarter is one of the best quarters I can remember him playing. And it wasn't just the scoring. I mean, it was the scoring, but the
yes.
way he was passing the ball too, like, he just had full total command of that game. And he was so by far and away the best player on the court. And like, Zach LaVine has been playing extremely, extremely well. He was 4 for 5 from three again tonight. And that is why Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the league. And a guy like Zach LaVine is not, because even though LaVine can kind of look like it at times, look like he's unstoppable, he doesn't impact the game in the myriad of ways Jason Tatum does. He doesn't run his team's offense and get everybody else involved while hanging 40, a super efficient 40 on you. And we're just lucky to have him, man. It's a fucking joy to
Oof.
watch this guy play basketball.
Yeah, as far as like straight up pure scoring the basketball, Zach LaVine is up there with
Yeah.
anybody. Like,
Yep.
and the season that he is having, he's yeah, absolutely in the conversation with everybody as far as it goes scoring the ball. But yeah, he's not giving you 16 rebounds. He's not guarding multiple positions. Playmaking wise, he's a fine passer, but like we're going to keep talking about Tatum's growth as a playmaker all season long. He finally got off the schneid as far as triple doubles go. Like, he's finished so many games this season with like 8, 9 assists, and then it's been a blowout and he hasn't been able to complete it. I'm not sure that he needed to come back in. It was looking pretty safe at this point, but they brought him
Oh,
back
he
in to
did.
go from he had 34 and 9 at that point, and so he went
Yeah.
from he really got some work done in the next 3 or 4 minutes that he came back into the game, like 9 points and an assist, like, and on some crazy highlight stuff. Like, yeah, this one will go like, yeah, sure, is against the Chicago Bulls, not the greatest opponent, not the greatest defense, but hey, this is going to go down. This is going to go on the highlight reel all season long. You'll see this one floating around Twitter and social media. And when he's hosting that MVP and Finals MVP trophy,
Remember this
this
game.
remember this game.
Dude, and like, speaking of going around on Twitter, the dunk he had on
Oh
Jalen
my god.
Smith was absolutely ridiculous. Tatum is not like a high flyer. He's long and he's like a good athlete, but he's not like JB where he's got every season a couple posters. It's pretty rare for him to get a poster, and that was a nuts dunk, man. Like, he banged that thing in with authority. And it came, and I think he had 3 or 4 dunks this game. One of them came off that nice little give and go that him and Jaylen Brown had, who had 8 assists himself. I thought, other than the threes not going down, JB was really good too. But at one point in that third quarter, Joe put Tatum on Levine. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's part of when our run started really building up. And that's, like, again, not only is he dominating this game offensively, you're just like, oh, by the way, go be a lockdown defender on this guy for 4 minutes so we can build up a lead here. And he does it at an elite level. Um, I mean, like we talk about how he doesn't have any weaknesses, but now he's at the point where every single basketball skill is a strength. Like he's not just not bad at anything,
Yeah.
good to great at everything, which is just nuts, man.
Shout out Gelso in the chat. The big dog, CLNS
Yes,
Media.
sir.
Appreciate you
The
guys.
boss.
The big dog. Yeah, man. Like Tatum. That was always like what made him unique is that like there's very few players with no flaws, and now it's not no flaws. It's he is elite at every single skill.
Yeah.
Like if he like pure passing ability, he's not going to pass LeBron as long as LeBron's still in the NBA. But the playmaking gap will continue to shrink as LeBron's athleticism wanes and his ability to create advantages isn't as easy. And so, like Tatum being the second best wing creator in the league right now, I think he has that title. And LeBron's going to be gone very shortly. So I think that title is going to belong to Jason Tatum. Like 16 rebounds. Yeah, look, was it a game where I remember him dominating the glass and like really fighting for rebounds? Not really. I think the ball bounced to him a fair few times here, but we like that for agenda purposes. But like, yeah, this team wasn't playing that well as a whole, I don't think. But when you have nights like that and your superstar can just end, it happened quick too. Like he was having a game where he was just cruising along. He had like 22 on like really good efficiency. And then late in that third quarter, he just exploded and the game was effectively over.
Yeah. It really was such a burst. And I feel like we were talking about it in the playback, but it's almost like he knows exactly when to turn it on to like take a game away now. Like he's just such in total control of these games, especially on the offensive end, where it's like, you know what? I'm just going to run a high screen and roll, and I'm just going to do everything from that point on. And whether it's getting downhill, hitting the step back when he gets a big switch onto him, or obviously making plays for his teammates. And like Tatum gets a lot of assists, but he is the guy who creates the initial advantage. And then that's when the Celtics' beautiful ball movement starts. Like it all starts with him often. And like he's really good at hitting these difficult passes that he does 15 times a game. And he's never going to get an assist because that dude passes it on. But man, the end of that third quarter was just, it was nuts. He was just like, I'm just going to destroy you with step backs and getting to the rim and diming people up. And he had that one pass where it was in semi-transition and Derek had leaked out. And he's like, looks everybody off to the right and like one hand righty bullet pass from like 40 feet away, right on the money. Whole defense was nowhere near Derek White because he looked them all off. And it's like, that is crazy shit, man. Like that is not normal.
He's looking like Drake May to Hunter Henry, as the Pats are down like 26-9 or something like that. It's
yeah.
The one little bright
Same
spark.
Thing.
Slightly different experience. The difference is the Celtics are up by 20 in a basketball game,
yeah,
as opposed to down by 20 in a football game. So,
which is like 35.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, this Jason Tatum guy, he was really good in the first Bulls game as well. Like, and the only downside of Tatum going fully nuclear spoony is that we shot 33.3% as a team, and so that kind of robbed us of the ability to add one more win when the Celtics lose when they shoot 33% or worse. Because I know we're 6-2 on games when we shoot 33% or worse, but it does speak to we have not been really able to find our 3-point shot as a team at the moment. And the Bulls kind of did a pretty good job keeping us off the 3-point line. Like it's kind of skewed because Tatum just kind of went nuts there on like self-created 3-point shots, but they weren't generating a ton. And this is why you've been tracking that stat, is because they find ways to win even when the 3-point shot doesn't go down. And the Bulls, we actually shot exactly the same percentage as the Bulls tonight on very similar volume. And like that speaks to what we're talking about as well here, is it's like we only made one more three, but we just smoked them by 25 points. It's because I thought Jalen did a really good job getting to the rim early in the game when we couldn't find points. And he, man, the physicality, Like if he was able to, it's annoying from an FC perspective because I want for Jalen for the numbers to look a bit better because I think process wise he's been playing a lot better lately, and from 2 point range he was really good tonight, and I thought he imprinted the game in a way that like we needed early in the game especially.
Yeah. We just needed to stay connected while we kind of figured the Bulls out a little bit, and that was all JB. And the way he was getting to the bucket, it was just like a physical overwhelming of whoever the Bulls put on him. Like just drop his shoulder. He was super patient tonight, which I love when JB is patient using his strength. Because it slows the game down a little bit for him. It slows the reads down for him some too, which is really nice. And I think part of the reason why he had 8 assists, and he's been passing the ball really damn well recently. And we talked about it in our pod Thursday night. But tonight, man, he had a couple finds that were just like, man, I don't think this guy does that last year. And I wonder if it's because he's just playing a little like a beat slower. And he's just growing into the game as he ages and sees the court a little bit better. But yeah, man, Jalen was really, really good. No Jaylen Brown moments that I can even remember. He had a few turnovers, but no gaffes.
Wasn't too bad. It was good. No evil J. No evil J.
No evil J. Yeah.
Like, how are you, I guess, feeling generally about Jaylen Brown? I feel like I know the answer, but like, someone replied to me on Twitter, and I've seen it a little bit, like, people kind of saying Jalen has been bad this season. And like coming into tonight, I think he was at like 26, 6 boards and 5 assists on 55% true shooting. Yes, 55% true shooting is not an elite number. He's never really above 58%, 59% anyway. But like 55% on that production, it's still pretty good. And I think process-wise, it's been good. Early in the season, I think that the injury skewed the efficiency a little bit as well. But like I've liked what I've seen from him physically, and like sometimes just 26 points on 55% true shooting, that's just like good production. Getting on the boards, creating assists to low turnovers, and like that I feel like when you add that to the improved playmaking that we've talked about, to the improved free throw rate that we've seen, and the efficiency I think is going to come up at some point.
Yeah.
Like Jaylen Brown has just not magically forgotten how to put the orange ball on the basketball hoop in ways that he has in previous years. So I think I saw it's his worst efficiency since like 18, 19. That's a good thing to me. Like I'm confident that's going to come up, and I think that is kind of in line with him last season as well and previous seasons. That like he gets going after the All-Star break and into the playoffs. So it's like, I'm very happy to wait around for that explosion.
Yeah, for me, it's just like the shot will start going in a little bit more often. And I don't just mean the 3-point shot. I think that'll start going in a little bit more often. But he's been kind of off in his middies, especially recently. I feel like he can't get some of these mid-range jumpers to go that he's usually like 50% on, which is absurd efficiency from the deep mid-range. And he's hit that shot for years now. That definitely didn't disappear. It's just a short run where it's not going down. And like the threes also kind of not going down for him recently as well. But I'm with you on the process. I think this is the best process he's ever had in his career. Like the way he's moving the ball, making quicker decisions, and playing in control and manipulating. He's running a ton of pick and rolls this year, 2 more a game this season than last year. And I believe last year was his career high. Like he's asked, it's kind of subtle, but he's been asked to do a lot more ball handling than he used to do in the past. And I think you're seeing a little bit of like growing pains with that and somewhat because he's not getting as many like wide open catch and shoot. I'm not sure that's true, but that's what it feels like to the eye test is he's not getting as many easy opportunities, but that's good. We know he can convert easy opportunities. We want him stretches his wings as a ball handler and a playmaker more and able to keep the offense afloat when Tatum's on the bench, which has been hit or miss at this time of year. I'm not going to say it hasn't, but it's all part of the growing. This is when you experiment with shit like that and see how much you can get out of Jaylen Brown. Yeah,
there was he had a really nice pick and roll with KP. Tatum went to the bench after kind of exploding, and it's like, do we have to deal with the lead getting cut back down and And I was like, look, when JB's out there with no Tatum, they like to pair JB with KP and other talented players because they kind of need that to keep them afloat. Just put KP in the action with JB, make things easy for him, and he did a really nice job, like putting the defender in jail and making a nice pass. Just like not something that he was capable of last year, like 2 years ago. So that continued development's just so valuable. KP, just real solid. And I think that like he struggled a little bit last game. He had the weird injury stuff with the heel. So just to see him play a full 30 minutes tonight and 22 points, 7 rebounds, defense was really good. I thought like his defense is always going to look better than everybody else's, I think, because like effort wise, he's like going to be in the middle, right? Like playing perimeter and off ball defense takes like a different level of focus, maybe. I don't know if I'm just making that up, but like he's just always going to be 7'2", right in the middle, challenging shots. But I thought defensively he was really good, and then obviously 22 points on 15 shots was nice and efficient as well.
Yeah, man, his rim protection is so great. I didn't realize how much I missed it until he came back, and he was just been this guy. There was a point there where we're hiding him on Julian Phillips, and he was disrupting a ton of what the Bulls were trying to do, and then Phillips got some more run in the game, but Julian Phillips, we were talking in the playback, like he's pretty good, and I don't know where the hell he really came from, but got 16 minutes tonight. I feel like he played more than that in the first game. So, and then I will say with KP, great. He was very solid tonight. It does feel like we're forcing his like high post stuff just a little bit recently. Like sometimes I'd prefer it's like just run a pick and pop or run a pick and roll and get him rolling downhill. We don't have to go to him every time he's got a mismatch, because often it's like Tatum's got Vooch on him, but KP has Kobe White, and they just opt for going with KP at Kobe White. But that's going to be a long two, essentially, which is fine, and he can make that shot, and it's great to have as part of the offense. But it feels like we force it a little bit too much. But I mean, he took advantage of a ton of them tonight, and he was really good. And there's like they haven't played with him a lot recently, so it's kind of finding that balance again. But really, we had 3 guys in double figures, and it was the Jays and KP had second leading scorer. I mean, he was really, really good.
Yeah. So Eric Weiss pulled it in the chat, like the starters, the like Horford on the bench, the top 5. They've only played 76 minutes together coming into tonight, and they have a negative net rating as well. So it's like they just have not played much basketball together. And I think KP finding his rhythm. It's like I don't mind the volume of it, but it doesn't feel like he's fighting for as good as position, or at least he hasn't gotten as good enough position. And unless he has like a true mismatch, then he needs to get better position, because the shot just becomes less efficient. You just like, the distance. It's like below the free throw line is money. Above the free throw line, it just becomes a more difficult shot, and you can just see it. It also just looks cooler when he shoots from far away. It's like, oh my god, is this dude gonna knock down this like deep 2? Which deep 2s, we're missing them. But so I thought he was solid. But if you're gonna go to it that much, you gotta be like more purposeful about getting deeper position, because then once he gets that, then he's good to go. But we'll get out of here. The only last thing I was going to say is Derek White. I don't know what's going on with Derek White right now. He had like the least Derek White game. The shooting is one thing. Like the fact that he's going like not just cold, but just ice cold, 0 for 6. Yeah. But also the decision making, the like wide open layup he had that he like double clutch, he like glitched and froze. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So I don't know what's going on with Derek right now, but he'll snap out of it soon enough.
Yeah, he'll be fine, but that was Ben Simmons-esque, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't worry me just a tiny bit. And he had a really bad turnover where he just like passed it into 3 defenders. I think Tatum was posting up, and he just wasn't there, and he threw it. And we did. Yeah, somebody get the Bic to Derek White's head. Brandon Lemon in the chat. Yeah, need D White to go bald again. Yeah, he'll figure it out. It's a little bit of a confidence thing. He needs to go start a game 2 for 3 from 3, and then I think it'll all fall into place for him. So he'll be fine. But this is kind of who he is a little bit, not so much on the Celtics, but this has always kind of plagued him in his career. But he'll be fine. I'm just going to keep telling myself that as I lay awake at night thinking about the threes he's missing, but he'll figure it out. It's Derek White. He's too good not to. Kind of painful to watch though right now.
Yeah, the possession where he missed 3 in a row, like where they got 2 offensive rebounds. I was like,
Pritchard got them both.
yeah, man. I like it didn't make sense in my brain. I'm like, he just only makes shots. I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, Celtics win. We'll be back, Spoonie, I think, with a pod tomorrow with a normal time pod.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. Christmas is coming up. Happy holidays, everybody. Stay healthy, happy, and Celtics stay winning. Till next time.